Wow.
What I'm talking
That is
about.
awesome.
This is what I came up with in 2006. It's a work of fiction. I dreamed it up. Where the United States starts falling apart at the seams. And it essentially starts with an assassination. Well, it starts with the buildings in New York falling. You notice like the whole Northeast becomes essentially part of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine if the United States becomes embroiled in a situation where Americans are shooting at an American and the federal government can't do much about it. There's this whole area here that's just filled with nuclear material aimed at other countries. So the whole idea is that NATO has to come in and take care of nuclear assurance. Nuclear assurance is this fancy phrase that means that nuclear material doesn't fall into the wrong hands. So, and I misspelled Israel. Somebody pointed that out to me. I'm an ignorant.
This is a demonstration.
Part of it is going to war in the Middle East. We end up finding out how close some of the people in the Middle East are to having nuclear weapons. And essentially get a huge chunk of our proud military destroyed. Where did I state that at? I staged it at Armageddon, which is an actual place.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a place in, I believe it's in Syria.
That's true.
Armageddon is or something like that. It's close to Israel and Syria. It's an old hilltop fortress where an actual battle took place long ago.
You know about Deseret?
Yeah, Deseret,
yeah.
My Mormon friend pointed out, oh, that would never happen. The Mormons would not separate out. Like, well, in this version of it, I actually have people separating from the United States and seceding. But actually, in real life, I don't think anybody would actually separate out. I think a lot of people would just say, would just claim a lot of federal authority, and for good reasons. You know, if all of a sudden people don't like each other anymore to the point that they're going to start shooting at each other, the federal government is powerless to stop it. You know, a big part of this is the immigration issue, what I call the Mexican plebiscite, a vote in all the southwestern states to essentially give dual citizenship and dual rights to people in those areas. Not necessarily to secede from the United States, but to take advantage of what they have in the United States, but also open the border up, essentially.
Right.
You would know how discriminated non-Mexican immigrant citizens would feel. I know we even threw a little bit of Civil War history in here, and I based it in Kansas City. Kansas City becomes the only autonomous area in the United States where they don't take sides with anybody. It becomes like a free trade zone.
Like Switzerland.
Sort of. Actually, that did happen during the Civil War, and it happened in Missouri. It happened in, and I don't know of any other areas. I may be ignorant to the fact, but it happened in a very interesting town. And what's the name of that town? It's east of Columbia, west of St. Louis. Fulton, Missouri. The whole county essentially seceded from both sides. Not on paper, but they did take sides. And they actually sent out emissaries to negotiate with both sides, saying, please don't attack us, we're neutral. And after that, it became, everybody called it the Kingdom of Callaway County. And there's even a town off of I-70 called Kingdom City. That's why it's called that.
It's called that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I had no idea.
It also was the setting for this book and eventual movie that came out in 1940? The best movie that Ronald Reagan ever played in. You know, if you want, we can walk around or something. I've been sitting in this car for a long time.
I'm kind of cold, actually.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You go, Tima. Hold on a second, let me take Tima.
Okay, no problem. So for those of you out in TV land, it's been an interesting interview process. I've definitely enjoyed it. Hopefully this is something that continues to happen. I think it would be nice to get a lot of feedback from people in Kansas City,
This is a demonstration
citizens of the art
Wirecast.
community and music community.
I'm hoping I can talk to you in and let us go somewhere to eat. But, yeah, I had this whole storyline, and it's, like, very, very popular. Almost scaringly so. I mean, long storyline. I get more comments. Imaginative and creative, and then some people are calling me a traitor and
Demonstration of
saying you'd be a
Wirecast.
great Canadian. This would never happen.
There's a book. I think it talks about the United States as actually being separate countries, like a loose confederacy. But I don't remember the name. I don't remember the title of the book.
We were at one time. We were just a bunch of sovereign states at one time.
Right.
Then they created a
This
constitution.
is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Because they realized states all being individual countries with their own tariffs and everything really didn't work economically.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, it's totally not feasible. I mean, I think the Europeans figured that out too with the euro. They're just still having some growing pains because not all the countries are equally developed. And then
Yeah.
they still don't have the mobility that we had in the United States to share the language.
Yeah.
I mean, moving from Greece to
At
France.
one time they did.
Of Wirecast.
When everybody spoke Latin as the
Yeah, right.
as the language of trade and commerce, and everybody had their vernaculars, but everybody spoke Latin and had good Roman roads. Yeah, the Roman Empire in many ways was a very modern society. They just, what was it that they it was in that movie that they talked about, the Roman Empire, they suffered from?
This is a
They
demonstration
suffered
of
from
Wirecast.
the curse of slavery.
Yep. And they used to manufacture a lot of goods, and then in the end, when they really started to collapse, all they manufactured was wine. And that was their primary export. They didn't really export anything else. Everything else was manufactured elsewhere.
The city of Rome was so decadent, it imported everything. North Africa, never realized, was a very fertile
This is a
area.
demonstration
It
of
was the breadbasket
Wirecast.
of Rome. And they stripped it to the point that it became a desert. And a lot of people realize that animals such as tigers and lions and things used to roam all over Europe.
Yeah, that's intense.
But they fed them to the gladiators.
It's amazing how much, I don't know whether to call it damage exactly, but the way that we can transform ecosystems is pretty impressive in its scale. I think it's rather sad in its lack of vision, but
Well, anyway, you and Jessica, mainly Jessica, I think, isn't that impressive how I can track that? Although it's kind of messed it up now.
right, it is.
But Jessica mentioned how she thought that we were heading for worse economic times and maybe even worse than that. And it's like, well,
This is a demonstration
yeah,
of
that's part of my
Wirecast.
prediction in this thing. The economic situation getting worse and worse.
Fractional reserve banking requires a continual expansion of debt to sustain itself. And it's not sustainable the system is built to fail. I'm not exactly sure what its failure is going to lead to. But I don't, like our government is borrowing unprecedented amounts of money and just dumping it into the economy. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It might be nice to receive a few $100 million though for a project.
Good luck to us. It's not for us. We got to be too big to fail.
In their, they have a website for tracking the money that's going out to these shovel-ready projects. They spent $15 million on the website. I don't even know how you spend $15 million on a website. I don't even know how that's possible.
You give it to the government.
Yeah, right. I mean, but what did they... You'd have to... I mean, do you know how many people we could hire for $15 million to build? I mean, it's outrageous. So, I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I didn't know that about $15 million.
Yeah, $15 million. We live in absurd times. Nothing really makes sense. I mean, it makes sense in the sense that I'm comfortable. Oh, you're so good.
You have anything on YouTube?
Do I?
Yeah.
I have a couple of YouTube stations. I have, if you, check out, I made one video, it's under, if you look up FLDS Anonymous,
Apparently there's a church.
US.
MOUSE.
And then I think that should pull it up.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I'll have to subscribe if I'm not subscribed already.
This one. I called that. I mean, it was a friend of mine and myself. But when Texas raided that fundamentalist.
It's under Church of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, that
used
to be. It was one of mine, but then
Citizens of the interwebs,
stolen from me.
netizens, leaders of
Oh, this has a pop out too.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Pop outs are great. This Justin TV thing is probably going to
citizens of
end, and all these other web streaming services will probably end when YouTube finally decides to do.
Real live streaming?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't.
But this is impressive because
This is
I
a
can shrink this
demonstration of
down.
Wirecast.
Size doesn't matter, although it kind of makes it lose its aspect a little.
Oh,
And this is why I need somebody to just run.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and it'll pick up from the speaker to the mic here, so it'll once I hit play.
citizens of the interwebs, netizens, leaders of religion and government. You did not think that we would leave out an April Fool's joke, did you? Anonymous placed calls of allegation against various polygamous compounds. We are not the boy who tried werewolf. We are the legion who tried foul. Pedophiles and homosexuals have taken the reins of religion and government, and this time they've gone too far, because they are